Community. What is the meaning of the word community? If you go to dictionary.com, even now if you Google, you see the word has a lot to say. But a community is a social, gathering or a group of any size where people come together for something. They want to do something. They are in a same local place. They want to share their passion. They want to do something. They have something that they have in common. Maybe they have the same heritage. Maybe they have similar character. They have maybe some agreement. They have identity. They have maybe, if you're a pastor like me, you have social, religious things that you come together for. And I'm so passionate about community. And my theology as a pastor is shaped by a community. When I was here, I was interested with this community. And I worked for this community. If some of you don't know my story, I worked for maintenance. I worked, wherever I could get a job, and I used to bring some guys together that we can have friendship, we can be together, we can form ourselves. Whichever name you give your group, it's a community. And you have a passion of that. We used to have even study buddies. You have your guys, you study together. You lunch buddies. I used to, most of the time, to have the Hispanic or the, Latinos or guys from Central America, good friends, because I wanted to know something from their culture. I'm from Africa. And so I wanted to know a little bit of everybody. And these groups, I used to love them. These communities, when I see people coming together, I love it. Because I know there is something good in a community. The reason why this school is here is because a community of people came together and put something together. We are enjoying ourselves. We are sitting down here because somebody somewhere brought somebody here. And now we can sit down together. So all these communities that we have, there are some interest in them. There is something that goes on in them. And I remember when I came here, I was a little bit lonely because I was from Africa. I could see my friends from Central America, they have their own groups. The Americans, they have their own groups. And so this guy from Africa was very lonely sometimes. And I lived in my room for 4 years. One room. Never moved, never went back to Africa. I was here. So I was looking for people that I can form a group with and be part of a community. So my passion, and I started a small group of Bible study. That time, the chapel was not renovated. We were going down. And I had a small group of people that we were meeting. Young boys that maybe came, I was still old guy. But these guys, we used to gather to get together and do a Bible study together every Monday. Because I wanted a community. I wanted people who can be with me. And my passion from there, it started when I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma for my graduate school. I was also lonely. I was looking for, I attended a big church where there are a lot of people. But the service is only 1 hour. After 1 hour, there is nobody at the parking lot. So I was always left alone. This black guy from Africa is looking for somewhere to go. So I used to go to Walmart and just go around there, maybe try to speak some Swahili so that if I see a black person, maybe who can connect with me. But nobody. Because I was looking for a community, and people from this community would not understand even my accent sometimes. Even now, I know it's very deep. But after some time, because of the passion that I had, I started bringing some people in my house. And we formed a community of internationals. We ate together. We fellowship together during the week. And right now, I pastor a church because of that passion. And community is so important to me because that's where in my own life and my journey as a Christian and in my own theology, that's where I see God working. Yes, I know God can reveal himself in so many ways and through a community and individuals. But the way I have seen God working in my life is within a community. That's where I see God every moment. When myself, by myself, yes, I can do for God. But what can I do by myself? There is nothing. The reason why you are here and you are getting education is not for yourself. If it's only for yourself, better stay at home because you don't need education to stay at home. But you need education so that you can go to a community and make a difference. So community is everywhere. It's not about church. It's about wherever you are going. And you have to know where to put your passion. That's why you call them majors. You are majoring on something. And that major, you take it in the community and work with it. And that is my passion now as a minister. And I want everybody to be a part of a community. Wherever you can be, whatever you can do, be a part of community. And please don't be a lone ranger. I come from Africa, and where I was born is just next to a national park. So I have seen animals in a community. And I have also seen lone rangers. And lone rangers is very easy to kill them. And the lions, they like when the animals are separated. Because they know they can attack them very quickly. But when, maybe if you have seen a movie of buffaloes, when they are together, it's very hard, even a lion, to get one of them. Because they are in a community. They fight for one another. And so when we come together as a community, we fight for one another. We deal with issues of life as a community. We become alive as a community. We do things together as a community. In fact, I know some of you know about the story of Jesus Christ. Jesus did not work in isolation. He worked in a community. When he needed bread, he had to go to the community. One young boy had the bread, and he was within a community. The miracles he performed, he was in a community. Well, whatever he did, his preaching, his ministry, it was in a community. And so the idea, and this is what I came to learn here when I came from Africa, is that there's so many people in this country, they live alone. They are individuals. They have this individualistic life that they don't want anybody in their lives. They are satisfied. And I wonder how they can make impact if they are alone. And so when we come together as believers and people who believe in God, our prayers are answered in a community. Why do I say this? Because I believe that God works through a community. So when we pray the Lord's Prayer, Lord, give us the bread and all that, you're not going to sit down and wait for God to drop a bread in your house. You die in your couch. And we are going to bury you hungry. It's better to be buried fed. But I'm just saying, when we pray all these prayers, we find our answers within the community that we live. When I was praying for a scholarship, when I came here, I had no money. But I found a community that is so passionate that when I was here, I got a full scholarship. Because of people who came together, my prayers were answered within a community. But I could have said and say, I have enough. I could not have gotten my degree and whatever in college and all that. But within this, I got what I wanted. What about discipline? We are disciplined in a community. The discipline that you are getting is within a community. You cannot survive alone. If there is no community, then there is no discipline. We are disciplined within a community. And God is involved in a community. I'm not saying that God is not involved in individuals. But if you want to experience the power of God, it is within a community. And the school is a community. Ozarks is a community. Where you live, where you come from, there is a community. And there's some people I know, they don't know even their neighbors. They don't even speak to them. They don't even care about them. I come from a country where we believe that, all of us belong to that community. If I don't have sugar in the morning, I don't have to go to the store. I just go to my neighbor and I told them, can you give me some sugar today? We don't have. If we don't have salt. We grew up like that. And we knew the power of the community. So regardless of where you are right now, whether you are 20 or 13 or 50, you need a community. And that's where your answers are. And you find it interesting when you know the power in a community. Jesus, we know, when he was here, he had the human body. Yes, he depended on his Father and the community that he was living in. His ministry, again, was around the community. His disciples, he called them from the community. When he wanted to feed people, he fed the community. He performed miracles for community. Everything that he did, he's an example for us that a community is important. And so my passion as I do the ministry is about how I can bring communities together and how I enjoy seeing communities being together. Because I know all my answers are within the community. And if you don't believe that, I don't know where you get your answers. Because all my answers, it's only that I pray, God opened my eyes to see where my answer is. Because maybe it was dropped in your life, but my eyes are still closed because of my individualistic life, because I just want to live by myself. But if God opens my eyes, I can get all my answers within a community. And that's where our power is. The job that you'll be looking for, maybe sometimes when you graduate, is not in your house. It is where? In the community. That's where you get it. If you're employed here in this college, don't be a lone ranger. Have a community. I came and it was a blessing for me to come today because my philosophy professor, Dr. Aiken, lost his wife, and God was a friend. She got married when Dr. Abel got married when I was here. So I knew them. And because there is a connection between me of the community that we formed in our philosophy class, when I was told that, I felt I needed to be here. Whether there was this talk or not, I was to be here. Because there is a community. And I love this community. And I want to ask you, whatever you do, join a community, form a community. And you will be surprised by the things that you find out, even about yourself. Because your gifts, your talents, your knowledge, anything that you have will be seen, will be exercised within a community. The little knowledge that we get is revealed in a community. You don't mark your own knowledge. That's why you have professors. You cannot say, I'm wise, unless you do an exam. And that exam has to go through a community of people that will say, you are a smart kid. We all depend on one another. Yeah. And I pray, and it's my prayer and my passion, that you may join me in forming communities. If you see a lone ranger, tell them that's not life. Life is within, and it is formed within a community. May the Lord bless you. Thank you.